Hey everybody, it's Lo-Fi back at it again with another review. Sorry that I wasn't able to do another review last week, but I got around. It takes a long time to make these videos sometimes, but anyway, today I'm going to be doing the Mezco 112 Fantastic Four steel box set. This has been a long time coming. These guys come with a lot of accessories, and there's a lot of stuff to cover. Also, thanks again for watching my previous video. Super cool, you guys, super great, and I appreciate it. And I will have a full gallery of images for all of these guys after the video, and on my Instagram at Lo-Fi Fig Collector and at Lo-Fi Fig Collector for my TikTok. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So this is Marvel's first family. They first appeared in, what was it, Fantastic Four #1 in 1962, I think. I think they showed up after Spider-Man, or before. I can't remember. Anyway, these all kind of have the same look, most of them, other than Thing, in terms of suit design and in terms of like suit mobility. The only difference when it comes down to these guys is body mold, pretty much. And slightly different proportions, other than Herbie, of course, because he's a robot. So, speaking of which, let's get into Herbie first. My last video was really long, so I'm trying to get to the chase a little bit more. Okay, so this is Herbie. He is the Fantastic Four's flying little robot servant. Mr. Fantastic invented him. So, let's see. I guess I can get into the look first. I'll bring him closer to the camera so you guys can kind of see what he's got going on. So he's got tons of sculpted detail all over the place, all over his paneling. And I put the slots on with the no arms first, so then I can bring the arms in for the articulation portion. And yeah, because right now the only thing that moves up is his head. Looks up, looks down. Does a little side to side, and you can see the kind of, it looks like there's an internalized neck thing that's covered, neck articulation that's covered by this little rubbery joint. And he also comes with a base stand that I put him on, so that way he can look like he's floating around. And his little rocket thrusters also move around. They are all on ball joints. And he's really cool looking and really unique looking, and he comes with a ton of stuff just inside of him. And I'm not going to go into the accessories now. I'm just going to go over the looks and articulation for all these guys. And then I will go into what these guys come with, what their kind of special features are. Mainly Herbie with the special features because, like I said, all of his accessories are internal. But yeah, he looks awesome. He looks really, really cool. I love this little guy. But yeah, this is Herbie. I can go into Herbie's special features. Why not? So this tray pops out, and it shows like a little circuit board and a little area to put something in. And what he can put in, I will show in a moment. Let me slide that back for just a second, and I can crack open this. It comes with a little computer for Mr. Fantastic to work on and do research in the field. He also comes with a back panel that also opens up. And it comes with a bunch of test tubes. And these can actually come out. Let me see if I can pull one out real quick on camera. There we go. You know, that usually gives me a lot more trouble. And I'll bring this closer to the camera so you guys can see it. It is very, very tiny. And what you can do is you can take this right here and just plug that into that port so he can do research on, you know, materials that are found. And it's super, super duper awesome that he can do that. And he comes with all of this little stuff. I didn't expect Herbie as an addition. They say he's like a Mr. Fantastic accessory, but I treat him like he's his own character. Because he is. And his eyes can telescope. Let me pull this all the way out. And so he can be like looking and doing reconnaissance. And that's cool. I wanted to cover Herbie first because he doesn't come with a whole lot of stuff. Let me push those back in. And like I said, in terms of articulation, he's not mind-blowing when it comes to articulation because he's just a little guy. So I wouldn't expect him to come with... I didn't expect him to come with as much as he did, but I'm very happy that he did come with stuff. Come with a lot of stuff. Okay, and so you can attach his arms. They are on ball pegs. Let me show... Because he also comes with little rocket thrusters, too. So, let me see. His arms can go like this. And his little claws can move. I actually originally had to heat up the claws because they got stuck. And I was panicking. I was like, oh no, Mike, no, please, no. I was like, don't break on me. I would absolutely hate if my figures broke on me. And I will say, this Fantastic Four pack did have a couple of QC issues, which I will go into during the course of the video. And I can show off his little rocket thrusters that he comes with. Let me put the little tray back on real quick so you guys can see that. He comes with little rocket thrusters that you can plug in. And like I said, I'll go over more accessory stuff after I get into the base articulation and looks of these figures. But real quick, let me plug in these so you guys can see what that looks like. Let me plug this in. So I plugged in the first two, and so you guys can kind of see what that's supposed to look like when it's all plugged in. So it looks like he's flying, super speeds, and he just looks really cool. And like I said, he can't get into anything super duper dynamic, but you can get him into some awesome poses. And if you just wanted to kick Human Torch out, like the Fantastic Four one of the older cartoons, and just have Herbie there because you're afraid kids are going to set themselves on fire because of the Human Torch, then you can do that too. Actual Fantastic Four cartoon lore. That is why he was not in the original cartoon. Human Torch was not in the original cartoon because focus groups said, or the company said that they were afraid that children would set themselves on fire. I think that's a myth, though. I don't know who came up with that, but apparently that was a lie. I don't know what the truth is. I never know what the truth is. So let me see. And I'll just go down the line of the figures. So that was Herbie. It's already been. Okay, so let's see. This is Mr. Fantastic. And all of these guys, like I said, have the standard blue suit. Same type of material for all of them. There's a little overlay for the neck piece. Well, not really like an overlay, but a different material up at the neck. And these guys aren't incredibly detailed. The only way they're detailed is mainly the face sculpts. And let's see, Reed's face sculpt. And that looks very nice. You can see the white temples. They painted the insides of his nostrils. He's a very stern look, a bit wrinkled. You can see, let me see, did they add any painted detail? Yes, they did. They added some light brown painted detail in the hair. And he looks really good. And that Fantastic Four logo looks crisp, looks clean, looks great. And there is a little bit of raised detail in there as well. You guys can't really tell, but I can kind of feel that texture when you rub your fingers across it. And then he has his belt, pretty basic. This suit is about as classic as you can get. Like I said, the Mezcoification of figures has gone down quite a bit, and they've gone in favor of more of the classic look, which, again, I don't have a problem with, but I like the added detail. But there is a little bit of added detail when it comes to the gauntlets and the boots. See, the gauntlets have the little 4 logo on them, and this is on all the figures, and the hands have this little tiny bit of detail. A little bit of lined detail. And then do they have any detail on the inside of the hands? Just a little bit. I think when it comes to the open palms, you'd be able to see that a bit better. Then for the boots, there's not a whole lot of detail on the boots either, but there are treads at the bottom of the feet. And when it comes to the articulation, Mr. Fantastic can look up about this far, which is pretty good. He can look down about this far, which is also very good. And he got And he has a good amount of head tilt. Look at that head tilt. He can stare at you condescendingly and be like, yeah, maybe that's not the most responsible thing to do. That's not how to do science. And then he can look all the way around, all that stuff. Okay. His arms can raise about this high. See if I can push it a little more. About that high. His arms can go up about this far, but you can see the suit kind of, form to that. So again, be careful because it is a fabric suit. You don't want a whole lot of bunching. It doesn't make the figure look very good. He has bicep swivel, his bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows that go in further than 90 degrees. Better than Wolverine. I can't remember how good Wolverine's was. I'd have to look back at my video. And then he has that ball jointed wrist, which, can go up and down and then rotate and all that good stuff. Also, the cuffs rotate. It's either they're really loose or they just rotate for me. And the upper torso twists. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The torso articulation, the upper torso articulation is not great. All it does is rotate. It does not go up and down. But there is a ball joint with the lower part, which gets him to go forward that much. And then he goes back about this far without popping out, of course. And that's for a feature that I will show later. And pop that back in. So I don't want to push that too far, else it'll pop out. But yeah, the articulation's alright on the Mr. Fantastic, but I think they went for function over form, mainly because they want it for the action feature, or the swappable parts. But for the arms and the head, it's very good. And there's a bit of torso articulation just in the lower ball joint where it swaps. But again, you can get some really good twist out of this figure. And then when it comes to the legs, he can kick up about this far. There's about 4 figures here, so I'm going to try and get this going. So he can kick high. He can kick about this high. And he can, let's see how far he can do the splits. He can do about that good. And again, not as good as the Daredevil. So there's that, and then he has upper thigh articulation right there, which is actually really good. Not super loose, but also not really tight either. And I think that's peak. And then, I'm copying Foosh right now. But yeah, he has really good double jointed knees, better than Wolverine. And then he has boot cut. So he can do this little rotatey thing with his boot, which is very nice. And then he has the ball-jointed ankle, which gets a little bit of swivel, bit of rotation, and it can go up and down just a little bit. And that's Mr. Fantastic. And I really like the way this figure looks. Mr. Fantastic was one of my favorites. It's like the Donatello thing for me. I like the really intelligent characters. But Reed does some shady stuff in the comic book sometimes for the sake of, like, science. And because he's like, I know better than you guys. And sometimes it doesn't turn out very well. But I like Reed as a character. I think he's really cool. Heart of Gold. And then, speaking of Heart of Gold, we have Johnny Storm, the Firecracker, a.k.a. the Human Torch. And I love Johnny. I think Johnny's great. A bit arrogant, a bit cocky, but that's Johnny. And I'll zoom in on the face sculpt, because the real winners here are the face sculpts. Let me see. He also comes with a really cocky smirk look, and I can show you guys that when I get to the accessories. But yeah, look at that. Look at the hair. This is all very 60s looking, which it's supposed to, because it's supposed to be based off the original comic books. Look at that. That's a good face sculpt. And then, like I said, suit's pretty much exactly the same. The only thing different is the articulation. And the articulation scheme is different for Johnny because of his swappable parts. The ball joint is in the head, unlike the other figures, for example, Reed, where the ball joint is in the neck and not in the head. But again, that's for Johnny Storm's accessories and bonus features and all that stuff he comes with. So let me put that back in. Let me get Reed looking right, and then put him right back where he belongs. It's just for an example. And he can look up. He can look up this high, which I don't know if that's enough or more or less than Reed. You can look up about that high. You can look down that far, which is really good. He also has really good tilt. I think he might have better tilt than Reed, maybe. Maybe because of where the ball joint is. Yeah, we can look all the way around. All that good stuff. And his arms can go up about, let me see if he can get to a Y pose. Is that more or less than Reed? We'll find out when the video drops. But yeah, his arms can go up about that far. His arms can go all the way up. I believe this is the Iron Fist body mold, if I'm not mistaken, or the Gomez body mold. I could be wrong, but people will correct me in the comments, I'm sure. And he has bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which go further than 90 degrees, and he has the same ball joint, and he has a bit of cuff rotation too. Now his torso articulation I think is better than Reed's, because his can go crunch in about this far. Let me adjust that. It can go in about this far, which I think is really, really good. I like that. I like the deep bend. I like the crunch, and then he can bend back about this far, which is still more than Reed. And then he has the rotation. I think he gets, I don't know if he gets more or less rotation than Reed. I feel like it would be more. But that's biased now because I think this is a better body mold. But they made them all like proportioned pretty well to the character. Because Johnny's like a kid. Well, not like, he's like a teen type body, like a younger guy. And his legs can kick up about this high. Also, I think he has longer legs than Reed, probably. Kick about this far. He can do the splits about this far. I don't remember. He can do the splits about that far, which is really cool. His thigh is a little more stiff. It does make a little noise. Excuse me. And then he has the same amount of double jointed knee, which is really nice. And his ankles are a bit more loose, but again, boot cut. I think his boots are shorter, actually, than Reed's. Yeah, they are. His boots are shorter. That's wild. Finding out new things every day. But yeah, he has that boot rotation. He has that ankle. His ankles are a bit looser than Reed's, actually. Same treads on the bottom. There's the rotation. Same force, same detail on the gloves. And I do only have a small amount of size comparisons at the end. If you guys want more, I will make a video dedicated to size comparisons, or I can upload photos to my Instagram or my TikTok. Okay, so there's Johnny. Again, sorry if it feels like I'm flying through this review. I'm really just trying to get everybody so I can get to the photos at the end, and so I can get to the accessories, because again, these guys come with so much stuff, and I can show you a really creative. I can show you guys what they all look like powered up at the end. So this is the standard Mezco female body, which I'm not crazy about, and I've said this before. I've said this 100 times. Mezco needs to update their female bodies. Because cut that out. Let me see. So, yep. So they need to update their female bodies, and this is why. So look, her hair is loose, rubbery, nice. She can look up about this far. Let me not do it with the chest. Up about this far, which is not great. She can look down about this far, which is, it's okay. Sue is not my favorite member of this 4-pack, mainly due to her articulation. Not that it doesn't look great, and not that I can't make her look good in photos. It's just that it's the same tired female body mold. And I'm going to harp on this until Mezco changes it. So, let me see. Her arms can go up about this high, which is good. It's good. Her arms can go up pretty high. And then it can go up about this high. Almost no restraint with the costume. Good. Very good. No bicep swivel. Nothing there. Single jointed elbow. Goes up about 90, which is good, but I hate that single joint. And it rotates at the elbow, which is mentally exhausting. And then she has the ball jointed wrist, and she still has the little detail. Where is it? Did I flip the cuff around too many times? Oh yeah, I flipped the cuff around. Let me flip it back. Yep, still has that 4 on there. They all, like I said, they all share the same amount of detail in the suit. Now let's get into the torso articulation. So she can go in about this far. Again, not bad. Not great, actually. She can bend back about this far, though, which is good. I like that. I like how far that bends back. That's good. And then she's got tilt. She can rotate just a little bit. And then let's get into the legs. She can do the splits. I think Johnny had deeper splits, maybe, but there's that. You're gonna see it. You're gonna be super upset because I sound just disinterested. Because I love the Wonder Woman Mezco figure, but the articulation is exactly the same as this figure. And the same with the Catwoman, same with the Harley Quinn. They all have the same body. I should just do size comparisons with the same body for Sue. I'll just take photos of that and upload that later. Sorry for the rambling. I don't want to go over 30 minutes again. So got that thigh rotation right there. And it's got that single joint right there, and I think it rotates. It does not rotate. I can't remember worth of anything. Yep, it only goes in, not even, maybe 90 degrees. And then we got the boot rotation, and then we have the ankle rotation, and all that good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so there's all that. I'm reviewing 4 figures right now, and I don't want to go over 30 minutes, but it is what it is. Okay. And here is the thing. One of my favorite figures, I think the breakout figure of this 4-pack. He is awesome. This is Ben Grimm. This is the thing. He's the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. Let's get into him. So his arms can go up really high. They can go up about this high. Let's see. Go up about that high. And there's no hindrance, so his arms can go all the way around. And he has bicep swivel. Oh, he also does have a little bit of butterfly in there, too, by the way. They all do. I don't think I mentioned that, though. But yeah, bicep. Only single joint. He's a big rock guy, so I'm not super upset by that. Not super upset by that. Okay. And then his, he also has swivel here. He has a little bit of swivel there. And then he has the wrist joints, which can rotate around. His wrist joints are huge, so they are a bit stiff. He also has the rotation there. And I can show you guys like some more detail when I'll bring him up, because he's one of the more detailed figures. You can see all the individual rock differences within him. You can see all that, and they're all painted differently, and it looks very nice, and there's some shading in the back. Some paint in the lines. He has the big giant blue shorts. You can see his toes, his big old toesers, his big old feet. You can see all that. I should have shown his detail first, but yeah, he has some really nice detail. And then his head sculpt. His head can only look up, let me see, without popping his head off, of course. He can look up about this high. He can look down, not so much. A little bit of a shame, but that's okay. He's a sad guy. He don't need to be looking down on himself. He has a little bit of tilt. His tilt is okay. I can get him into some really nice poses, though. I love this figure a lot. He's probably my favorite thing figure. I had the Marvel Legends one. I think this one's better. But yeah. Yes, somewhat decent torso articulation. He's got that rotation. He can only bend back about this far, I think. I don't want to try and push him, because I don't want to break this guy. And then let me see if I can get him rotated forward. Oh, okay. So he can crunch forward about this much, which is not that bad. Let me make sure he can crunch forward about that far, which doesn't seem too impressive. But then let me sit him back. That's good. That's nice. That's a nice articulation for the torso. And then let's get into the legs. See how far he can do the splits. Not that far. Not surprising though. Not super surprising though. Let me adjust his shorts again. I love his little gym shorts. This is nice. This is a nice figure. You're gonna hear me gushing over this guy just because of my own personal bias, which is sad. He can kick high. He can kick about this high, which, again, not super great. But if you throw him against, like, the Hulk or something, he looks great. I just kind of want to throw him against the Marvel Select Hulk, who's huge. Even the Legends Hulk is huge, so it's not really a fair fight for old Ben, but he's done it before, and he'll do it again. So he also has double jointed knees, which don't go in that far. Again, not surprising because of the body mold. I'm not going to make excuses. The articulation for the thing isn't super great, but you can get him into some really good poses. And then he has the ankle articulation, the ankle joints, which mainly for me only rotate. I mean, you can try and hinge them in, but they'll only do it just a little bit. It's probably because I'm not pushing as hard, because again, these are Mezco figures and I'm always afraid of breaking them. But this guy feels super solid in hand though. Super solid. Actually, let me get him into a put him up pose real quick. I have my camera just like directly in front of me, so I have to like pull him away from camera so I can do this. I mean, I don't have to, but it's much easier to do so. Put up my dukes. Let me get him into it's a bit of clobbering time. Let me pose him up real good. Let me get his ankles in. I'm already going over the 28-minute mark because I've gone over 4 figures. I'll cut some stuff out, or I'll try to. Look at that. Look at that guy. I'll put him right there. You're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. Okay, so now I will go into the next segment, which will be accessories. So let's put the thing back up there. Let me pull this back just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me pull out the accessories. So let me see. So they come with all of these little trays of accessories. So here's the first tray. This is more of Herbie's tray. It comes with the rocket boosters. It comes with the covers for his arms, which you guys saw me swap the arms out already. And here is the ultimate nullifier, which Mr. Fantastic used to ward off Galactus in one of the first Fantastic Four stories. And that has some really good detail in it. You guys see all that, the blue painted detail. And then you can see on the back, it's pretty much the same as the front. And that looks cool. It's a little lazy for me to go through it this way, but it's much easier than me pulling out all the hands individually. Here's all of Mr. Fantastic's hands. It comes with a pointing hand, grabbing hand for the ultimate nullifier right there, and then just some open hands. And then the thing comes with some grippy hands and some open hands, and you can see some of the detail in there. Sorry if it's like super reflective though. I do apologize for that. And you see some of the painted detail in there. And can you see any of the detail in there? The detail isn't super noticeable on there. So you do see a little bit of sculpted detail in there. I can pull one out right now so you guys can see it without the reflective nature of the plastic. Pull that out very quickly so you guys can see that. Yeah, there's a little bit of detail in there. Just a little bit right there at the palm. And that's nice. Okay. I've already broken my rule, and this video is going to be a lot longer than I think it's going to be. And then I have photos at the end. I might just save the photos for TikTok or Instagram, depending on how long this video is. Or I can just not make as many photos, because I made 72 photos for the Wolverine. And then one of my pieces just fell. And then here's all the hands for the Invisible Woman. I probably won't use all of the hands in photos, which to me makes the most sense, because why would I do that? So here's all these. Here's all these alternate pieces. And they look very nice. Very, very nice. She has like Scarlet Witchy hands, because they do like stuff like, you know, the witchy hands is what I like to call them. And then here is a Human Torch piece. Like this is the throwing multiple fireballs at once effect. I'm just pulling them all out in the order that I have them set aside. So here's this. It's clear orange plastic, so when it goes up to lighting, it's like piped through and it looks very nice. And I got some hair caught on it because I have cats. And that's cool. Let me pull out this next tray. And here's all of the Invisible Woman effects. There's all of her cool transparent invisible power effects. And this is actually for Johnny because he throws fireballs, and what you would do is you plug the fireball in, and I'll show you guys what that looks like in a moment. That's cool. And then here's all the hands for Johnny. He's got some gripping effects, some gripping hands, some throwing hands, and some flight hands. And then here's all of the pieces for Johnny. Let me pull that out. Here's all the fire pieces. Here's all the fireballs. And there's an alternate neck piece for one of the alternate heads. Let me pull one of these fireballs out real quick, because one of these has the peg hole that you plug the other thing into. Okay, there it is. There's the peg hole. Let me grab this real quick. I'll show you guys some primetime examples right now in front of everybody. Okay, so what you would do, take this clear piece right here, and you find out where the peg hole is, and then you plug it in there. And then when you plug it onto his wrist, it looks like he's throwing a fireball like this. He's getting thrown right at your face. Flame on. Now I'll show you guys what everybody looks like powered up at the end. And then, because like I said, I will have a full photo gallery of images at the end of this. Most of my photos will get uploaded to either TikTok or Instagram. Again, same name as me, and I will try to link them in my bio. Okay, and then here's some invisible effects. And all of these can kind of port into each other. This will port in here like this, and it looks like it will shoot from her forehead, and her forehead is magnetic. Check that out, and that'll look like she's blasting out a mental effect or something. And then like that, put that right back there, and all of these are interchangeable with the hand pieces as well. So I could plug this in to there, so it looks like she's shooting a little beam out, or you could take this tiny force field effect and you could plug that in there as well. Let me plug that in, and it looks like it's a tiny force field. And she also does come with a giant force field effect, which I will show in just a moment. Plug that in. And I showed all that, and then the thing comes with this giant I-beam, and it's got a little indent there from being gripped by the thing's giant Rocky Man hands, and you've got some rivets in there. It's just this nice silvery plastic that's painted through and through. It's gray plastic that's been painted silver, and you see some more wrinkle detail in there. And this thing does have bendy wire in it, so you guys can see how strong I am in real life. And then, yeah, this is cool. And you just give it to the thing, and you can break it or use it like a baseball bat. Let's see what else I have up here, because I have some other accessories off to this side and off to this side because they just come with so many. Here's Sue's giant invisible effect, and it comes with like bullet ricochets. It looks like bullets are ricocheting off the side, and you can plug those little porty things into here, so it looks like she has a giant force field that she's saving the guys from. And that looks really cool. And I already had made like a smaller video on my TikTok on these guys, so I have those photos up there as well if you guys are curious and if you guys want to check that out. And then for the big Mr. Fantastic hands, you can see all of this detail in on that. They put more detail on this than they do on the regular hands, so I don't know if that's sad or not. There's his big hands. It's just me and my big hands. And where would you put these big hands? Now, these can attach to this one, this version of him, or you can attach it to this. He, instead of coming with, like, alternate accessories, well, I mean, he does come with alternate accessories, technically, but he comes with a whole nother torso that is fully comprised of bendy wire. He has that embossed logo, and he has the head. And again, I'm going to do the fully powered up versions of these guys, and you can see what that looks like in a moment after I cover all these accessories. And yeah, it's all bendy wire, and you can see that when I get to the articulation for Big Fantastic. Big Fantastic. He also comes with, as well as big hands, he comes with stretched feet. Now, here's where we get into QC issues. Now, if you look in there, this whole peg piece came out without the boot, and I had to glue it back in because it was not glued in. Let me see. Yeah, it was not glued in, and I kind of did a bad job because you see where it doesn't completely line up right there. But I had to glue it back in so it wouldn't keep popping out. And that was a bit unfortunate. And it also comes with a giant neck piece. And that's very cool. And there's pretty much all the accessories for Mr. Fantastic, other than Herbie, of course. And then the thing, he also comes with a pair of sunglasses that he wears at night. He also comes with a trench coat. That way you can get some more fabric goods for the thing because it's a Mezco figure. So he can look like a giant Ninja Turtle. And again, I'll show you guys what all that looks like when we get to that point. He also comes with a fedora, so he can look fedorable. Look at this. And he has like this little black detail. I think that's a little buckle, but it's not painted in very well. I'll put that right back up there. One of the last accessories, or last few accessories he comes with is this Yancey Street sign, because he's from Yancey Street, and he won't let you forget it. His sweet Aunt Petunia lives there. And then he comes with this giant lamppost. Looks really cool. He has like little frayed wires at the bottom. There's a different colored one, and there's some like black wash detail on there, so it looks kind of dirty and dingy, like it's been in New York for a couple of years. And this doesn't light up, but it has light piping. Let me look my finger through so it looks like it's lit up. And the thing about this one is that it also has bendy wire in it. I could throw it like a boomerang or something. I think that would be really cool if I added that into photos where he threw it like a boomerang. And if you guys do pay attention to my other content, I did get the Dr. Doom in, so photos are about to get real interesting. And then he comes with these effects that you attach to his fists. Let me see. And they're like pow blast effects, like he's punching really, really hard. And I dropped it. Okay, let me bring that back up. And let me see if I can do this on camera. This goes to his other fist. I'm supposed to kind of hook that on there, like that. And so it'll be like that on his fist, so when he makes contact with somebody, you know, when it's clobbering time. And so he's like this. And that's what happens when you mention Alicia and rock slides. That's what happens. You get a rock slide. Look at that. That's awesome. I love that he came with effects pieces like the Superman. I do want to make a video on the Mezco Superman eventually, because that is my favorite Mezco figure. And I like when they come with like pow effects. Because it's like, yeah, gotcha. Okay. And then one of the last effect pieces is the Human Torch's base. And his base, let me put Ben more into frame. There we go. Is this one. And here's where we come across another QC issue that I had. So this base detaches so you can put Human Torch in it. It has 2 pegs in it. Mine only has 1 because day 1 of getting it, the second peg snapped off immediately upon the first swap. And I still have it. I put it in there so I wouldn't lose it. And every time I've tried to glue it, it does not work out like I want it to. So if anyone has any tips or anything that I could do to actually keep it in there, that would be helpful. And the thing about this one is, it lights up. Much like the Sentinel base from last time. Let me turn this light off so you guys can see how bright it can get. Look at that. The bottom is very, like, glowy. And I love the light piping through here because even without it on, you guys can kind of shine a light through it. Let me show you guys. Put a lamp through it. And it'll look really nice. But yeah, it's really cool, and it has all this little detail. It's painted with different like oranges and a little bit of red detail in there to kind of make it look nicer. Excuse me. And it's just really cool. And now we will get onto the head sculpts. Let me roll all of these into frame. So the first head sculpts I'll go over are Mr. Fantastic's. So he has this bearded head sculpt, which looks really nice. It's more of a modern Mr. Fantastic. And that's really cool. And then we have the standard Mr. Fantastic head, but smiling this time. He's a little happier. His family's treating him with respect. He is a genius, after all. Then we have Sue. She has a angry head sculpt. Makes her forehead look a little big, though. I'm not going to lie. But it still looks very nice. And then we have this head sculpt. More of a, I would say, a more shocked or quizzical head sculpt. See that? Also looks very nice. Kind of reminds me of Madonna. But that's me. And then the thing comes with 3 head sculpts. Comes with smiling head sculpt with Ever Loving Blue Eyed Thing. Sorry about that. Ever Loving Blue Eyed Thing head sculpt. It looks very nice, very detailed, like all of his other head sculpts are, because there's a rocky exterior. Comes with an angrier head sculpt, you know, when he's about there, when he's about ready to, you know, clobber ya. And then we have the full-on, you know what this head sculpt is. This is brutal. This is the angry, about to like end your career thing. This is Thing versus Hulk, angriest he's ever been, trying to get at Hulk's level, trying his best. Dr. Doom just did some heinous stuff. That's what that is. And then we have the Human Torch Johnny smirking head sculpt. Super cocky, super confident, super Johnny. And for this last one, let me get this Johnny head sculpt out. Let me get this little tool ready. So you go. I have this out. This is a little tool, and this is used for the Human Torch head sculpt. This Flame On head sculpt, and this looks awesome, 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 awesome. So there's that. And with this little tool, you can switch this on, and it is time to flame on. It lights up. Let me turn the light off. Actually, let me do this. Turn this off so you guys can see how bright it actually is. That's neat, huh? That's cool. Let me turn this off again. There we go. Turn that off. There we go. No, it's back on. Let me turn my lamp back on. There we go. And there's everything they come with. Now, what I want to do is take a moment to power these guys up. And, you know, show you what they all are kind of made out of. So I will be right back. And here they all are, all powered up. Let me give you guys a good look at these guys. Here's Human Torch. He looks super cool, all powered up, all flamed on. And then here's Mr. Fantastic. I have him leaning, which is kind of cheating. I forgot to mention the base plate, which is the standard Mezco one. And they are all exactly the same. And I have it holding up the force field because it would not stand up on its own. But there's Mr. Fantastic. All his stretchy goodness. There's Herbie, all fully loaded. And here's the thing. He doesn't really have any, like, blast. But I just had him popping out of his trench coat being like, oh, it's ready. It's go time, everybody. And then here they all are just zoomed out. And it all looks really, really awesome. Let me turn off the light, actually, so you guys can see the underglow of Human Torch in all of his glory. All of his flamed on glory. And there's all of that. And then let me turn on my flash again. And here they are. Super cool. Super, super cool. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at this guy. Ooh. Again, really, really cool. Turned out really nice. And here's all these guys. Here's the Fantastic Four. Great stuff. And then I will power these guys down for size comparisons. And then after that, the photo should come towards the end, and that'll pretty much be the end of the video. So I'll bring that out, and let's get right into it. Okay, everybody, so I am back. Sorry if the camera's a little wonky. Let me... Okay, there we go. All straightened up. All right, so I'll get into only a few size comparisons. My Wolverine video had too many. So I think I'm only going to use about 3 figures. So the first figure I'm going to use is my Mezco Yellow Daredevil Custom. I'll put him right next to them, so y'all can see what that's like. Get more specific into the body molds. So him and Johnny about the same height, just about. Not too bad, not too bad at all. And then in relative scale to everybody else, he kind of fits in with them pretty well. I don't think that looks nice. I think they all look nice together. I mean, he's more of a 60s Daredevil, kind of hanging out with the Fantastic Four. I think that works. And then I do not have the Mezco 112 Classic Spider-Man just yet. Hopefully he comes into my action figure store today so I can pick him up. So for now, I will be using the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, the Target one. So it has the blue on the back. And he stands in relative good scale. He's a bit shorter than everybody, which makes sense. He is a teenager. Just a little bit, though. And there's him with all 4 of these guys. Let me pull Ben over just a little closer. Okay. So yeah, there he is next to everybody. I think he's a bit tall. Is Sue taller than him? Sue and him might be about the same height. Pull her just a little closer into frame so you guys can have better reference. So yeah, they're about, I want to say they're about the same height. Sue might just be a little taller, mainly due to the hair. Okay, right over. Okay, and then for the final, here is the Mezco 112 Dr. Doom. And I was kind of waiting till I got him before I made this review, so that way you could all see Doom in all of his glory. And Doom is taller than Ben. Pull Ben in. Doom, I think, is taller than all of them. Doom is taller than all. I think Doom actually is. Yeah, Doom's taller than Ben. Okay, that's great. Hold on just 1 second. I just sneeze off camera. This is really bad. I don't know what's up with me today. Either my allergies or something's acting up. Okay, so here he is next to Reed, and he is definitely taller than Reed in his big old metal suit. And that's awesome. Very imposing, very nice. Once I get my Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, I might add him into photos too, or when I do my own video, I'm going to do some creative photos with him in the Fantastic Four. Kind of do some Spider-Man #1 stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. This has been too long of a video, I think. I'm going to try and trim it down a bit. It'll still probably be just as long. But I want to say thanks for watching. Please enjoy the photos at the end. Hopefully it doesn't go too far. Hopefully you all feel like watching this much. And thank you guys again for watching, and have a good one. See you in the next review.